Thank you for coming. I'm Scott Mcpherson. I'm one of the co-founders of Ark. And 15 minutes, oh boy, we got a lot to go through here. Well, let's get started. This is the current cryptosphere with just hundreds of coins strewn all over the place. And they all use different language, they all operate differently, they don't communicate to each other, they don't talk to each other. I don't know, I think we're up to like 1,400 coins now or more, 1,500, I don't even know. And there's so many coins. I think there's a coin for everything. There's probably like French fry token and shoe shine coin and you know, all these things that people are dreaming up. And where do we fit into all of this? Well, hopefully right here. And hopefully our value will lie in the ability to facilitate communication between coins, to bridge between coins, to allow a transaction on one coin to be executed on a second coin. And this is complex stuff. This is not easy to do. You know, experienced developers, and there aren't that many around, struggle and have difficulty implementing this type of thing. And that's where our focus is going to be, to make this stuff easier to use, to facilitate the connection of one coin with another coin, and ultimately to enable the development of deployable blockchains that can be customized for an end user or you know, corporation or you know, whatever you want to do. Instead of starting from the ground and building your own blockchain, you know, we want to provide a solution that provides you with a customized blockchain that fits your needs. And this is not vaporware. This is not like a promise and we're going to build a bunch of stuff. This is actually where we are right now. We actually, at this moment, have connections to the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the Litecoin network. You can execute an Ethereum transaction or a smart contract. You can make a Bitcoin transaction. You can make a Litecoin transaction, all without ever owning those other coins by using the Ark token. And we'll get to more on how this is working. This is kind of an overview of the overall Ark ecosystem. It's just a whole collection of a bunch of stuff that hopefully will make things easier for developers and end users to use. The desktop wallet, the mobile wallet, the Ark Explorer, the Ark Core, Ledger wallet, SCIC, which is the corporate entity that Ark has formed, Smart Bridge encoded listeners, ACEs, developer tools, yeah, all of this stuff, all those words that I mentioned, that stuff is done, like already coded, done and working. Again, it's not a promise, it's not vaporware, this is real stuff, and there's more to come. Some of the stuff at the bottom, smart cards, NFC devices, Internet of Things, those are things that some of our team members are passionate about and want to work on, and they will complete them in the near future, I'm sure. So this is where we sit. This is a bunch of words that describe our ecosystem. Let's just blast through a bunch of them. The SCIC, that's our corporate structure. We're incorporated in France, the first SCIC in the cryptocurrency world. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I'll embarrass myself and insult anyone of French heritage, so we'll just leave that as it is. Everything in Ark is open source. There are 27 repositories with 6,500 plus commits. There is a lot of activity going on here. It's all open source. You can take it, you can use it, you can fork it, you can bend it. Please give credit where credit's due. Growth. Ark has grown a lot since we started. I love this chart. This is really a nice chart. Yeah, just look at it for a second. It's very pretty. Our network went live last March at about 2 cents, and we have just this lovely growth by building real stuff. And over that time period, we just bounced off $10 and a market cap of $1 billion, which just completely blows my mind. Of course, that slide was made a week and a half ago before our January clearance half-off cryptocurrency sale that we've all been enjoying for the past week. But no one's jumping out buildings because we all hold, and it's an uphill roller coaster. And, you know, the sale's over, it's going to keep going uphill. So, love that slide. Exchanges. Initially, we were just listed on Bittrex, but now we're up to 12 exchanges, and there's more to come. According to ICO stats, we are in the top 10 of returns of all coins over 80,000%, and that's over a 10-month period. And that's a fun slide, too. So if you participated in our TEC at the end of 2016, I hope you're quite excited. So, at the core of Ark is the Ark Core. It is our own blockchain. It is lean, it is fast, it has 8-second block times, and within each transaction is a vendor field for text or a snippet of code that will allow and facilitate a transaction to occur on another blockchain. And we'll get into more of that a little later. The first version of the core works great. There's some things that we identified to improve upon, and right now the team is nearing completion of a complete rewrite of the Ark Core software, separating some of the processes into a multi-threaded setup to allow for faster transactions, to improve scalability in the future. It's going to be awesome. Ark uses the delegated proof of stake consensus system. Well, you probably are mostly familiar with this. It is a form of representative democracy whereby delegates are elected. You know, a lot of most reasonable countries around the world have adopted some form of representative democracy, and that system we think works very well in cryptocurrency. We have 51 delegates, and every Ark holder, every Ark account has a vote. The top 51 delegates are entrusted with securing the Ark network and receive foraging rewards for each block that they stamp. Some would argue that this doesn't sound very decentralized, but I think it's actually the most decentralized because many of these delegates have thousands of voters behind them. And, you know, just like your senator, you're caught in a compromising situation, you know, you're voted out. And the same thing can happen to the delegates. So there's a lot of fierce competition for them to, you know, behave well, do what they say they're going to do, keep their nodes up and running, keep the network secure. This is our desktop wallet. It is a beautifully designed wallet. It is easy to use. It is really slick. And I think it is the best wallet in cryptocurrency, and I've heard plenty of similar remarks. It's nice. Everything is laid out nicely. You can do a transaction to your Lambo fund, and within 8 seconds, it's confirmed, and you can see it confirmed right in front of you. It's really nice, as opposed to, you know, coming back 4 hours later and going up to see, oh, did my transaction confirm? So it works really well. The other thing we're excited about is we have Ledger hardware wallet integration with our wallet. You open up your wallet and your Ledger stuff pops right up on screen. There's not many coins that are supported by Ledger right now, but we're really excited to be one of them and the first DPoS coin to be integrated into the Ledger wallet. The Ark Mobile Wallet is just released. This, again, is super slick. It's really well designed and easy to use and retains pretty much most of the functionality of the desktop wallet, and it's in your pocket. And you can, you know, vote, send transactions, manage your accounts all on your smartphone. And a few more screenshots showing some of the stuff. And again, this is out right now. Developer tools. We have compiled a collection of tools to make it easier for developers to build stuff that integrates with the Ark network. And right now, there are 18 languages, API clients that you can use to build stuff. And, you know, if you can't find something on here that you like to develop with, I don't know how to help you. And the cool thing is 12 of these are done. They're completely done. And there's 6 more to come that will be done soon. So using these tools, community members have built encoded listeners. And these are the nodes, the intermediary devices that allow for connections between blockchains. And some of them are one-way connections, and we hope to have two-way connections built so that you can have a transaction conducted on another blockchain by using Ark and never have to touch the other currency. And right now, there's the three that go one way. There's encoded listeners built for Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. And these are essentially one-way transactions. You use Ark to execute a transaction on another blockchain, and hopefully we will get to the point where those are two-way communications between blockchains. And the other coin does not even have to participate because these happen through an intermediate listener node that listens for a trigger in that smart bridge field that's part of every Ark transaction. An example of this right now that is working right now is Ark Contract Execution Services. You can use Ark to make an Ethereum transfer. You can use Ark to deploy a smart contract. Similarly, things are up and running, coming for Litecoin and Bitcoin. And that's just three that are, there's a lot more coming. And hopefully, through time, there will be more listeners and intermediary services that will use this method to communicate and interact between blockchains. Another thing coming is the Ark Virtual Machine. This is being worked on by an independently contracted team. We have our 5 full-time developers working on most of this stuff, but there's a separate team building this. And this is going to bring smart contracts to the Ark ecosystem. This will enable Ethereum-style smart contracts to be executed using Ark. This is something that's going to be built as a separate module, not sitting on top of the Ark blockchain, but in a separate parallel connected chain. We don't want crypto hamsters and French fry coin and all this other stuff bloating on top of the Ark main chain. Another module coming is the Interplanetary File System to enable data to be stored. And these are all separate modules that we plan to incorporate ultimately into something we call push-button blockchains. Right now, there's a few partners that are working with Ark. Blockport, they are a decentralized exchange that's partnering with Ark. Persona is a zero-knowledge identity system. Kapu is documenting archaeological information. And these are all partners of Ark, and some are forks of Ark and using the Ark blockchain as a platform to build off of. Big into education, we've sponsored many hackathons. These are a few of the recent 3. The next one's coming up, Hack Cambridge 2018. We're sponsoring, a sponsor of that also. Got to get the kids involved. We need more blockchain developers. They don't grow on trees. They're extremely hard to find. It was very hard to find ours, and I think that a lot of projects who are announcing wonderful ideas and great ideas that they want to develop, they're going to have a real hard time finding developers to make that happen. Future things that we're not doing yet, but we want to. There's some team members who are really passionate about these things, especially developing Internet of Things devices that can communicate through each other. One of our guys is a real big hardware guy. NFC devices and an Ark smart card. Ultimately, this is probably going to be one of our biggest focuses after a lot of the core components of the ecosystem are finished, and that is what we call push-button blockchains. And the idea is that there will be a graphical user interface where you can select all the components that you want for your blockchain. You would pick these options, whether it's the Ark Virtual Machine, so you can use smart contracts, whether it's the Interplanetary File System for storage of data, the number of delegates you want, your block times, your initial distribution of coins, foraging rewards or your inflationary rate, all these different parameters that people struggle with to figure out what they want to do with their blockchain, and then struggle to code and put together. All of this will be able to be clicked, configured, and then you push a button. And out the other end, boom, there's your blockchain. It pops out on a seed server All your delegates are there. They're all running. They're Genesis delegates. They are temporary placeholders that are running, and then you take your blockchain, and your community will replace these delegates with community members or regional stores or whatever you want to do with it. It's your custom blockchain that's going to be tailored for your needs, for your corporation, large or small, whatever you want to do with it. Our roadmap, Ark.io roadmap, you can go there and you can see kind of a breakdown of all the things we're working on and a little blurb on each one and the progress that we've made. And it's a big roadmap with a lot of ambitious stuff on it, and it's exciting. So in summary, our aim is to facilitate connections between blockchains, to make everything easier to use within the blockchain world, to develop an ecosystem where as a developer you have the tools that you can use to build stuff to connect to Ark, and also push-button blockchains so that you can have a customized blockchain, you can deploy it, you can tune it for whatever your needs may be, and you don't have to find developers and spend 2+ years trying to build a blockchain and figure out how the whole thing works. It'll be a nice package for you. And it has to become easier than it is right now, because right now it is not easy. And if you think back to the early days of the World Wide Web and Netscape, like, ooh, the N is moving, cool, and Mosaic version 1, and people coding their own web pages, I mean, that's not how it's done today. I mean, can you imagine like actually coding your own web page? And no, that's not how it's done. And that's a good analogy. You can apply that to today, and the way some of us think about it is we want to be the WordPress of the blockchain world. Templates, kind of a base platform setup for people to build this stuff on, complete with the whole library of modules that you can use, you can plug in, ultimately to configure a blockchain setup that works for you for whatever your particular needs might be. So ultimately, point, click, blockchain. That is it. Thank you very much. I'll be around all day in the booth if you want to come ask questions or talk to the team. We're really easy to reach. Thanks again.